James from the Sasquatch Hunters. I am doing a phone interview on a Class A sighting on November 10th of this year, 2013. I call it a close encounter because it was between 12 to 14 feet. And may I state, this is ex-military man who is astute, obviously an observation, better than most. This is near the Helens, Georgia area where Stacy and team are ongoing with the mines and the hills and the forests up there. And before we start, I would like to thank this gentleman for his services. Like I say, if you got time to do anything, take the time to thank your military for past and present, what they do for us and our country. So, as that, this is Alan. Alan, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, sir, and we appreciate you to tell your story. So go ahead and tell us what happened on that day.
Yes, sir. Well, first off, I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a herpetologist, and I travel frequently up to the North Georgia mountains, to the Helen area, Astute National Forest, and on this day I was going up there in order to observe some wildlife that I frequently study. And I was northwest of Helen and going by some usual sites. It was approximately 5 to 6 o'clock in the evening, and as I was going over to one of my usual sites, I had observed that I was walking about, I'd say about 5 minutes before I was up to one of the sites, and there was no wildlife active. I didn't notice it at first, but I did later on. And as I was walking, I came up to a ridge, and I noticed that there was something to the diagonal from me, and it was hunched over on the ground, and it wasn't moving. And as I got closer, as Steve previously said, that I was about 10 to 15 feet away from it, I got to about that distance, and it jumped up, and it spun around very quickly, and I realized, that this is something very out of the ordinary, something I haven't seen before. And it stood there and it was staring at me. And some minutes had passed, and at this point in time, it would lunge, it would grunt, it would make some sounds close to that. That's the best way I could describe it.
Wow.
And it was man-like. It was approximately, I say about between 7.5 to 8 feet tall. And I'd say 4.5 feet from shoulder to shoulder. Very, very large. Some might say that, it was ape-like. But in my opinion, having studied various wildlife, it was not anything close to being an ape. It was like a man. There was absolutely nothing, ape about it. Very, very muscular. The hands, the best way I could describe the hands are about size 13, 14, maybe even larger, as far as being able to fit a ring on it. It is very, very muscular. I cannot stress it enough. The eyes were, you could see the whites of the eyes, unlike other creatures. They were squinted, aggressive. The nose was not ape-like. It was more Homo sapien than ape. It did have full body hair, with the exception of the hands and feet. There was wear on the knees, elbows, on the hands, because I stood in front of this creature for a significant amount of time. I didn't know whether to run or just stand there and let him do whatever it is he got to do, because obviously this creature would definitely be able to outrun me. The hands, like I was saying, the hands and the skin, they were tan. They weren't black, or I wouldn't even say dark brown. They were just tan, worn, cracked, had fingernails. The right hand did have blood on it. I was able to observe that. At which point in time, this is all happening, and I'm observing this as he's sizing me up. That's the best way I can describe it. And at one point in time, he picked up a log. I was able to observe that it was most likely right-handed. I know that might be hard to believe, but it's true. And he chucked it in my general direction. He didn't throw it at me. And notice I said he. He did have male sex organs. I was able to observe that. No tail, definitely walked upright. Had brownish, reddish hair. It was matted. I'm not 100% sure if it was mostly due to the Georgia clay or whether that was his actual hair color. But from what I was able to observe, there was a mix between brown and red. And after he chucked the stick, at this point in time, I started backing up slowly. And, he didn't charge me or try to beat me or anything like I was expecting. But, I was slowly backing up. I noticed that there was a strong stench, body odor, somewhat that of a wet dog, but with the exception of it being probably about 100 times stronger. I was backing up. This all happened, within, I can't even say for sure, but it was over 10 minutes that I was standing there in front of him. And I slowly started backing up down the ridge. And eventually I got out of sight. And, I made a beeline back to where I came from. It was definitely real. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. It was something of what some might say, a Bigfoot Sasquatch or whatever. It was not a man. It was not a native creature that's seen every day. Somebody can make their own decision about it.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
that's all I got to say.
I know there'd be lots of anxiety, but wow, you covered it. That is one hell of a story. Makes my skin feel like bubble wrap. But a couple quick questions. You said it was about 8 feet. What do you think the weight might have been?
There and about. I'd say that'd be my best guess.
Okay, what do you think he might have weighed? Seeing wildlife and stuff.
What's that?
How much you think it weighed? If you were to guess.
Lord only knows. There's not really much to compare it to.
Yes.
Four at least. I'd say about 400.
Wow. And you said it made grunts in are we talking like a bluff type of gruff and stance, leaning towards you or stepping towards you? That type?
Um, as far as posture goes, I'd venture to say that it was the the head, the forehead was sloped back, and its shoulders were more forward than a proper than what you're taught as a child to have proper posture.
Wow.
It was definitely leaning more forward than straight up.
And you said it was ripped, muscular. Wow.
Very, very. It's rare to see somebody that would be as muscular as that creature.
And yet, as we stated before, with you being in military and your astute observations, you can tell facial expressions of like it had intent for you
Yes, yes.
to get the hell out.
Facial expressions that it was exhibiting would be more cautious on the verge of aggressiveness.
Good thing you did. And you backed out nice and slowly. So this all took about 10 minutes. Wow.
Yes. The eyes, I was able to observe
White.
that the eyes did have more, I wouldn't say downright fear, but there was aggressiveness there. The eyes were slanted, the breathing was rapid, and going by the noises that the creature was making, it was threatening.
Wow. Wow. Amazing, amazing story. And what we're going to do is close on this. I see you had email me a picture that you had drew, and I'm going to close out with a picture of this. And once again, we want to, I'll show you this quick picture here that you sent. And let's see if I can get into okay. And that's the picture. And you can come to our site, the SasquatchHunters.com, and check out the new site and check out the info and look at some stories. But this is probably going to be here. This picture will probably be posted. And once again, Alan, we really appreciate that you had contacted us. And once again, thanks for your services and thanks for your great story. And we will be in contact with you.
Well, thank you for your time, sir.
All right. Have a good day. Well, you heard it at SasquatchHunters.com. Come check out the new site. And wow, it's a story. All right, until next time, let's go squatching. You're gonna like it.